Hi, it's Marina, the Soul Alchemist, and it's time for Pick Your Own Card weekly guidance. And this is for the 31st of July through to the 6th of August. So if you've not had a chance to tune in, I want you to just quickly pick between 1, 2, or 3. I would encourage you to listen to all 3 messages, because as you are probably beginning to understand, if you've been following me for a little while, all of these cards weave into each other. The bonus card this week is a new category, because I like to introduce new things, and it's going to be about soul alignment. So this is kind of where we have the opportunity to bring aspects of us, our soulful self, into alignment. So that's a topic that we can look at. To be honest, that topic weaves into all of the 3 cards. So it's all perfect. Also, just to note, if you're watching this in real time, then on Monday, Tuesday, the 1st of August, we have a full moon in Aquarius as well. So also time to release, time to renew, relax, kind of recharge yourself with the full moon. And of course, all of your spiritual tools, getting those out to be cleansed also. So I'd encourage you to listen to all 3 cards, as I've already mentioned, because they do all relate to each other. Now, this is the first card. It's Prostitution of Self. And it's not the typical message which actually comes with these cards. And if you're not aware of what these cards are, it's the AKASHIC Oracle card deck. If you want to get your own deck and play along with me each week, then the link is in the comments below or in the description. There's 49 cards, there's 7 chambers within the Akashic Records, and there's 7 cards within each chamber. And this is actually part of the love chamber. It's the first chamber of the deck. Prostitution of Self is normally about where we are renegading on our own integrity and values in order to get something back in return. But I'm not actually picking that up with this particular card this week. What I'm picking up on here is the word that was given to me, or 2 words, was pleasure and being provocative. And there's a thing here, there's an awareness here where we maybe hold ourselves back or do not give ourselves permission to experience pleasure. And of course, pleasure, straight away we might think of kind of sexual things in terms of like physical pleasure, but I'm talking about emotional, spiritual and mental pleasure as well. And that can come in all shapes and sizes. You know, that can be from having a bit of peace and quiet out in nature, reading a book or journaling. That could be really pleasurable for you. Or for me, it's like arranging flowers in a vase, or setting up my altar with bits and pieces and picking the crystals and, you know, whatever I want to go onto the altar. That is pleasurable. So do you know in your life, in your general day life, what things you have in your toolbox that bring you pleasure? Can you identify those activities or those things, even those people that bring you pleasure, that you like to engage with? And if you don't, then that's my first bit of homework for you, is to go and find out what can go in your pleasure toolbox, literally. But also, do you deny yourself pleasure? Do you set things in place before you're allowed to experience that pleasure? So for me, I very much work on a reward kind of thing. So I do a certain amount of work before I'm allowed to have this thing, you know, and that might be my cup of cacao or, you know, something or other. And it's a way for me to stay motivated, and it's a way for me to get things done. But in a way, it's also a bit of punishment, because I'm having to do something in order to get the thing. And I'm not just allowing myself to have the pleasure, because there's a sense of guilt with that. I haven't earned it. So do you have that little pattern going on there around pleasure? And also, when I say the word provocative, do you feel in your body, in yourself, that you are provocative in any way? And if you're not, what emotions or things, triggers, memories, beliefs that you conjure up when I say the word provocative. Because this female here, she's been provocative, and she's being provocative purposely because she's earning a living in kind of what she's doing. And she's using her beauty and her body in order to do that. And that's her choice. That's what she's doing in this particular card. But when I say provocative to you, does it bring up a negative connotation? Does it bring up a playful connotation? Does it bring up a shameful connotation? And this is just something that I just want you to maybe ponder on, because it's funny how a certain word can, the label that we, the things that we conjure up that we've attached to that particular word, and it doesn't make it right or wrong, but it's just interesting that if I said to you, how can you be more provocative this week? And for me, that could be really playful and having a good time, and being able to experience pleasure. But for you, provocative might be it's a dirty word, it's shameful. And if I am provocative, then what am I asking? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to be safe? Because it could for you, it could conjure up that I'm opening myself up to be attacked in some kind of way, or criticized or judged. So this card is purposely coming up for us to explore provocativity and how we can be more playful and provocative, and just noticing what our connotations are and the emotions we attach to that word, and also pleasure. And pleasure also might be a word that you attach shame to. I know at one time I did, and it's something that I've worked through. It's really interesting what words can bring up in terms of emotions, and it's perfect because it allows us to go a little bit deeper with that and ask ourselves some questions. Or where's that come from, and why do I feel that? And it might be that it's not even rooted in this lifetime. It could be that it's past life, and it's very strict religious, like vows that you've made to a particular order or organization, and pleasure and being provocative was totally sinful, you know what I mean? And you've made a vow to uphold that. And so in this lifetime, the thought of having pleasure and just being really open for that and really up for it in whatever form that is, and asking and allowing yourself to receive that could be really, really challenging. So that is the first card. So we're opening up with a great card here, and I do want you to listen to card 2, because these are all gonna connect in some way, shape or form. So that's your first card. Let me know if it resonates, and also if you want to go deeper with your own session, you want to get the cards, then just click the links in the description below or reach out to me and I'll give you some more info. So card 2. There's going to be a need for this week, strengthening boundaries. And so this could easily link into card 1 in terms of pleasure, in terms of having time for pleasure for yourself, doing those beautiful activities that bring you that sense of joy. Joy is another word for pleasure, but straight away we can think pleasure goes to somewhere else, but pleasure links with joy. It links with contentment, fulfillment, happiness. So strengthening boundaries is card 2. There's going to be a need for you to perhaps uphold a boundary or communicate a new boundary. There's a realization, I think, this week that there's maybe a little bit too overwhelmed, taking on too much on your plate, said yes to too many things. And it's kind of like, hang on, I need to regroup. I need to bring myself back in, and I need to put some boundaries in. It might be that you find, for some of you, because children are off, that you're trying to do too many things, and also look after the kids and all of that type of stuff, or do like activities with the kids, and there may be that sense of feeling like you're letting them down, or feeling like you're letting yourself down, or letting other people down because you're trying to juggle too many things. So something has to give, and it might be that you need more support, or it might be that people are just asking too much of you, whether it be children or whoever, workplace, friends, family. And this is like, no, no, I need to focus on myself. So it's a bit like the true service card that we've had recently. This is kind of recognizing where I need to have my own energetic space and, you know, practices or time away, time by myself, so that I can just pause, I can rejuvenate, I can renew, whatever it might be that you need to do. But in order for you to get that space, it might be that you've got to put a boundary in. You've got to let people know that you need that space. And if you've put boundaries in before, you might find that people are trying to push them a little bit, and it might be that you've got to just uphold them again. So state them again, as she's doing in this picture. You can see that she's kind of, it's almost like this triangle. It feels like it's the overwhelm coming in, and it's closing in and it's closing in. And she's kind of like, no, this is my boundary. You can't kind of come past this. I need my space for me to kind of energetically glow. And I show up in my best, and you get the best of me. I need to have this space within this parameter. So that's what I feel is going on here. So strengthening your boundaries. This is part of the relationships chamber. Just sharing what chambers these come from. So the first one was love. This is the relationship chamber. So needing to strengthen boundaries with others to ensure that you can glow up, renew, rejuvenate, pause, just get some rest, get some headspace, drop into the heart. That is what's being asked for here. Actually, I'm just picking up on the stars also here. So there's spiritual connection that is needed here as well. So being able to have that time and space also for spiritual connection, receiving guidance. I've just been given that as well. Okay, so let me know how that card resonates. It definitely links in with card 1. So if you've not listened to card 1, please do go listen to card 1 as well. And then we go into card 3. So card 3, this is the one that I picked. But in order to have card 3, I need to go through cards 1 and cards 2. So if you've not listened to cards 1 or cards 2, and you've picked card 3 as your main one, please go listen to the other 2 cards. Balance and flow. So you can see straight away, I want balance and flow. I need to eliminate some things in my life. I need to have a little bit of an edit, have a bit of a release, stop doing the things that are filling up my time and space, obligations, expectations, that type of stuff. Or just taking a pause, slowing down, allowing myself to do that without guilt. That's just me personally, just rhyming off some stuff here in order to have balance and flow. So it's really looking at what are the things that I've got going on in my life, relationships, work, all of that type of stuff, where it could knock me off my balance. I'm trying to attain perfect balance here, perfect centeredness for this week. And it might be because I want to have pleasure. I want to experience what provocativity means for me from card 1. But in order for me to have that, I need some time and space to explore that. Or to do that, whatever that is. And so therefore, I need to create that time and space and maybe make sure that my boundaries are strong in order to get that balance and flow. So it's definitely about releasing. You can see that she's just here in this picture on her own, and she's on that beautiful stone, and we've got the sea and everything. And again, she's kind of focusing in on the light. So there's definitely spiritual connection, or just kind of that connecting back in with ourselves to get that balance and flow. But how can you achieve more balance and flow this week? What is taking up your energy that is knocking you out of balance? What do you feel stuck against, or where are you feeling blocked? Because this is about flow as well. So if you're not feeling like you're in flow and everything feels like a struggle, you're really having to effort to get things like moving. There's no flow in that. That's push and hustle. Where are you pushing and hustling to get a result? Because the way to get clarity on that is to let it go and allow the flow. And that could feel scary, or it might be that you've got to drop some other things. So that's where other people come in. This is where your boundaries come in, extra support. Also, it's kind of like connecting back in with yourself and finding the pleasure in what you're doing. If you're in challenge and struggle and push, there's no pleasure in that. So it's finding the pleasure in what you're doing, finding the balance and allowing the flow, whatever flow looks like for you. So let me know how that resonates for you with card 3, but also all 3 cards. You may also find that for some of you, you're also going to somewhere that's got water. And so it could be a lake, could be a river, could be a sea. I'm really drawn to the water and kind of the healing elements of the water as well. So if you need to take a little half-day trip or a couple of hours away to the sea or to some water, that is going to be a quick way to get balance and flow. And in that, you get your boundaries, you get your space, you get your glow, and also you're doing something pleasurable and connecting with the energy of pleasure. So balance and flow. So they all resonate, they all connect with each other. Let me know how you found those cards. And we've now got the bonus card, which is all about soul alignment. New kind of category that I've introduced for this week. And this is a card that we've had just very recently. And soul alignment comes, and this card can connect with any of the 3 cards that we've just had. And it's trauma and wounding. So it's not so much the inner child aspect that I'm kind of connecting in here with here. It's more about the trauma and the wounding part. So soul alignment comes from addressing any bits of trauma, any bits of wounding, hurt words, judgments, criticisms, opinions, things where they felt like they've hurt a little bit. And it could be present, it could be like childhood, whatever it might be, but it's going to connect in with your ability to experience pleasure, to create pleasure for yourself, for you to allow yourself to have permission to receive pleasure. It can be with your boundaries. Maybe you've put boundaries in before and you've been heavily criticized for doing that. And so it's kind of like, well, I'm not going to do that again because, what was the point? The boundary didn't stay, or, people didn't listen to me. So there's trauma and wounding in that, because when we don't feel heard and we don't feel listened to, then we're less likely to try and put that boundary in again. Or we just feel victimized by it and we'll complain about it, and we'll complain about other things in our life, and we won't do anything. We won't try the boundary again. I think you understand where I'm coming from. And balance and flow. Where can you create more balance and flow? But what trauma and wounding is connected with that? So maybe there's guilt, a lot of guilt around, having balance and flow. And you seeking that balance and flow and really kind of trying to achieve that, within your relationships, within your life, within your health. But it might be, again, that you've tried that before and it was met with disdain, judgments. You can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. You've got responsibilities, you've got commitments. And so with that comes these elements. It's like these shards of trauma, these pieces of hurt, these crosswords. They all take a little, they all kind of embed themselves within our energetic body. And they stay there until we kind of actively release them. And that can be just acknowledgement, just remembrance. And, you can simply say, I now release you. I'm now kind of letting that emotion go. Anything that's going to support you with the acknowledgement and then the release is going to help you to release those shards. And you can see that we've got these beautiful butterflies in here. So we've got that transformation that's happening there as well. The more that we recognize our limiting, beliefs, behaviors, patterns, the emotions that we hang on to, not that they're bad or wrong, but it's just the acknowledgement, it's the suppression of them, allowing them to come up. Just noticing if there's any behaviors that are attached to them, and if that behavior is not serving or supporting you, that habit, the action, the thought pattern, then you've got an opportunity to do something about it because you've got the awareness of it. So trauma and wounding. What trauma and wounding can you address this week It might not even be related to any of those cards. What can you address this week that's going to support your soul alignment? And there might not be anything that you can think of. And something will come up this week that you will perhaps just trigger you, or it'll be just a memory that feels still a little bit hurtful. That's a trauma, that's a wound. Doesn't mean it has to be a massive trauma or a massive wound. We get small versions of traumas and wounds as well, which can still, when they all add up together, they still add up to quite a big thing in, you know, just in our energy that don't need to be there. We can work on these in the Akashic records really easily, and it really does help to shift the stuff to bring us back into soul alignment. Soul alignment is about balance and flow. Soul alignment is about boundaries. Soul alignment is all about self-love and pleasure, fulfillment, contentment. It's all of that. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to step into in a bigger way, and also support, if that's part of our path, to support others in stepping into that as well. And it's remembering it's not wrong to be self-full at all. It's you know, it's giving permission for everybody else to be self-full as well. And you know, we all kind of vibe together, which is amazing. So let me know how those cards resonate. Don't forget, we've got the full moon on Monday, so that also is perfect time to kind of support you with any of these cards. And if you want to go deeper, you can start your journey with me, and we can journey together for a whole 12 months with 4 sessions of the Empowerment Oracle session. That's done on subscription, so you can start that from £33 a month, or you can do a single session, or you can get your Akashic Oracle card deck with me. It's a modality in a box, so you get a masterclass and you get a key that serves as a totem or a pendulum to activate healing in the Akashic records. So lots of options there for you to really deepen your Akashic work, deepen your soul work, and yeah, your experience, to, you know, really kind of be here for it and heal and just, yeah, enjoy your experience as much as possible. So have a beautiful week, love and blessings, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.